I mean, it was his idea. Like, I think she smacked him, like, just tapped him, and he was like, no.
Yeah.
She's like, he's like, no, just go for it. You know what I mean? He's like, don't worry about it. But a lot of that stuff was all like improv, especially Most Def. Like, he just,
man, he killed that shit.
Yeah,
and the funny thing is, it was like an honest response when y'all left. And then he said, damn, that's a bad bitch.
Standing trial. Why ain't I see you round back when I was down?
How did you come about getting the role for that?
well, I've been going out for different Benny Boom videos at around like prior to that time, early 2000s. My boy Louis and Pablo, they were casting directors, and they were, always casting Benny's movies. And Benny had always tried, when he did a video, he would always say, yo, I need an actor. I need a real actor, not a model. You know what I mean? And so Louis would bring me in, and next thing you know, some cat like you, a big muscle-bound model, would get the part. So it had nothing to do with acting at the end of the day, But he just kept on bringing me in. And when Next Day Air came around, Louis once again was like, yo, y'all should see Cisco. And they're like, Cisco, dude, a word? He's like, yeah, man, you should bring him in. And so he hooked it up, went in. I mean, I thought I did my thing on the first audition, but I didn't hear back from him for like 2 weeks. And then Robbie Reed's brother, Doran Reed, called me and was like, hey, can you come in tomorrow and read with the girls? They ain't say it was a callback. They ain't say it was, they say, hey, can you read the girls for us? So I felt like I was just going in and just, doing them a favor. But between that time, I fell in love with that script, so I must have read it like 3-4 times. I had the whole script memorized from beginning to end. So I vowed when I went in there and read with each girl, I was gonna do something different every girl's audition. So I would just ask them, what's my limitations? You mind if, like, what if I smack you on your ass? What if I do this? What if I do that? They're like, yeah, cool. Some of them weren't ready for it. You know what I mean? Because I didn't tell them, I was like, that's not what I may do,
right?
But I'm gonna do something.
Right.
And, finally halfway through, all of them, reading with Laura London, Vita Guerra, everybody. And they were like, we want to let you know you're not doing this for nothing. You got the role.
Oh,
nice. I was like, thank you, Jesus. You know what I mean?
Had it been, I would say, let me see. That's probably, would that be considered one of your bigger movies that you've done?
Yeah.
In terms of production and impact and all of that?
Yeah, studio, all that. Yeah. I mean, I've done some, crime thrillers, like the one I went to France with. And I had a stellar cast, but I would say Next Day Air had the studio behind it.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
And of course, Mike Epps, Wood Harris, Amelia Rivera, Debbie Allen, Laura London, Donald Faison, Omari Hardwick.
Yeah.
So Darius McCrary. So it definitely had like that all-star cast. And
so let me ask you, because obviously with the explode, I mean, Mike Epps was already Mike Epps at that time.
Right.
But Omari Hardwick, to be honest with you, that was probably the first time I had kind of really started paying attention to him, because I think he done the thing with Janet yet, the Tyler Perry joint, where he
no.
Okay.
No, but he had been in there was this series about firemen. Something fired.
49?
Huh?
Ladder 49?
Was it a TV show?
They made it a TV show.
It might have been. I just know, I know he was on that. But like, I know Omari for a while, and he was at the poetry lounge, putting it in and putting in work. He was always putting in work,
right.
You know what I mean? Right. So just like all of us, that wasn't my first, that might have been my first big joint. But before that, I had like a gang of co-stars. So we like people, unless you're on something regular, people never, they're like, oh, that's the first time I seen him.
Right.
So unless you watch that show, you might have not have seen Everybody Hates Chris or CSI New York or stuff like that.
What was it like working with Omari though on the set?
It was cool. I mean, we were already cool. We looked out for each other. Everybody was just really dope. No matter how seasoned they were, they were, how was that? Any tips? You know what I mean? Darius McCrary, he gave me a lot of pointers.
Dope.
But it was also, there was just already just a camaraderie on set.
Dope.
You know what I mean? And then when I walked past the trailers and I'd be like, oh, damn. Oh, that's how y'all getting down? Like, where we can have fun? So I was trying to keep it cool, you know what I mean? And so I was like, shoot, let me have a little fun up in here, you know?
What about like with Wood Harris? Because I mean, he's such a phenomenal
Wood
actor.
is dope,
and
man.
that was him coming off of The Wire, you know?
Right.
So like
The Wire, and he also did that that basketball joint, I think before.
Coach Carter?
But Paid in Full. Come on. I mean, Wood Harris is one of the most dopest actors out there, man.
I was thinking the other day, randomly, right? I was like, damn, our legends are getting older, you know? And I was thinking, who's gonna fill the shoe of the Denzel and, you know, these people? And I promise you, Wood came into my mind. I was like, Wood Harris. I was like, I
could see Wood having like a Morgan Freeman type journey, like a Sam Jackson, even though he doesn't got that high energy, like, cause he's just so cool. You know what I mean?
Right.
But he's such a talent, man. He got so much talent.
Yeah.
And he's just a cool ass dude.
Yeah, for sure. I met him one time at a car wash out here. Where did they find, I don't know what the chick that played your girlfriend.
Yasmin.
Where did they find her?
Yasmin Dali. Shout out to Yasmin.
Yeah.
Back then she had a show. She was a host on a show called Vivo. And that was like a Spanish TRL. You know, they showed videos and stuff like that. And then even before that, she did a few like music videos for Benny Boom. And, you know, and she was also like, I think she was singing and rapping. So she was kind of like in that scene. And, you know, so Benny already had an eye on her. He brought her in and, you know, he kind of said, hey, man, I think she's dope. She's never really acted before, so I need you to bring it out of her. Like, don't go easy on her.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, bring it out of her.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, you know.
Yeah.
So I just did what I do.
Yeah.
And
she did good. Not to be a seasoned
actress. She did a hell of a
actress.
job,
yeah,
man.
She did good.
Yeah, she really, you know, embodied that character.
She did. Yeah.
You know.
I remember the funniest part. Well, one of the funniest parts is when Mos Def. When y'all in the back of the UPS truck and y'all slapped him. No, she slapped him.
She slapped it.
She slapped
him for real.
She slapped him for real?
Oh, yeah.
That's why he was holding his face, then he turned back around.
I mean, it was his idea. Like, I think she smacked him, like, just tapped him, and he was like, no.
Yeah.
He's like, no, just go for it. You know what I mean? He's like, don't worry about it. But a lot of that stuff was all, like, improv, especially Mos Def. Like, he just...
Man, he killed that shit. And the funny thing is, it was like an honest response when y'all left. And then he said, damn, that's a bad bitch.
right. I like your outfit.
And she was like, thank you. Yeah. Man, it's so many moments in that movie, bro. I damn near know that movie verbatim.
It was so easy just to like add little tidbits and, you know, the natural responses. Because shout out to Benny, because he gave us like 3 takes. We stuck to the script, the first one. Second one, he directed us a little bit different, you know, and then the third one, he was like, yo, third one's yours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Dope.
And so, you know, it's funny because a lot of the takes in there were stuff that I did. So I kind of like that. But
and then even playing opposite of Emilio. Rivera.
Emilio, man.
And he's an OG. He's
an OG, but he is so focused and professional when he's on set. Like he just, like he's in his zone. You know what I mean? And he just want to make sure that, like, is that take good? I was like, bro, you good? You sure? Yeah, you killed it. You sure? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm feeling you murdering this shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you making it real easy to, like, be scared.
Right. Yeah, he played the shit out of that character. Yeah, because I ain't gonna lie. Whenever I see him, you know, I see that character. I see that character. Oh, and then you had Lobo too.
Right.
Yeah.
Lobo Sebastian.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dope actor.
Dope actor.
Yep.
Dope. And he's super dope. Cause he usually, I've seen him in that tough guy, but I've seen him do some other shit.
Right. Some like
completely
real like
left
vulnerable
field.
shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I was impressed. Cause I'm like, oh damn, that's the tough homie. Like, you know.
Nah, there was some killers on set, man. There was some killers. Like
you got some funny behind the scenes
oh man.
stories that you can tell.